I've just seen this on the timeline, and I was somewhat surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I was somewhat surprised to see this. So this is courtesy of a random account here on Twitter. The caption is, Chunkz has restarted his own podcast, this time named it The Chunkz Show. So as you guys know, Chunkz co-host Young Philly has unfortunately been accused of the big R word, which I wouldn't say it's unfortunate for him, because if he did it, he's a madman. But in terms of Chunkz, it's unfortunate because his co-host is gone. But since then, I think he's been kind of keeping his head down, doing his own thing, collaborating with other people. But it seems like he's starting his own solo podcast, which I don't think he ever had. I'm sure they always did things together, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not really too familiar with the law about Chunkz and Philly, but from what I understand, from observing them from afar and seeing them on my timeline, I always remember them being together. I don't remember them coming up separately, to be honest. Even though they did separate content, I kind of remember them doing a lot of content together. So I'm wondering, is this just him going back to what he did before he met Philly? Or is this him trying to really separate himself from Philly? I'm not really too sure. Either way, this is a clip from the first episode, I'm assuming, featuring Chunkz. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear what he has to say.
What up, people? It's Chunkz, and I'm here with the Chunkz Show. Now, you guys are probably thinking, why are you starting the Chunkz Show? Now, this is something I really did enjoy doing, which was just talking to the internet. You guys did give us a lot of support. So I do want to say thank you very much for that. And I just decided to, you know what, start my own podcast. Of course, there is an ongoing situation that's happening right now, which I won't comment on. I can't comment on because of the fact it is ongoing. So I hope you guys understand that and are here to support the show, the Chunkz Show, because that's what it's about. I'm trying to elevate this. It's a passion project for me. It's something I really enjoy doing. So I'm here to give this a shot and give it a try, and hopefully you guys can support.
He didn't even say man's name. He didn't even say man's name. That's a mazzoline, isn't it? He didn't even say Young Philly's name. God damn. Now, off the top, I've got really shit analysis because I don't really know these guys too well. Although I'm from the UK, I should probably know these guys well, but I'm not going to lie. I never watched a single piece of Young Chunkz and Philly content. It's just not for me. I never watched a single piece of it. I was only familiar with these guys, or with Young Philly especially, when he got accused of rape or when he got charged with rape. I wasn't really familiar with them apart from that. And of course with Chunkz, the other reason why I know who Chunkz is, the only reason why I know who Chunkz is because of this legendary video that I'm sure some of you guys remember. Remember this legendary video when Chris Brown was in London and for whatever reason, Chunkz was also in the same club as Chris Brown and got on the microphone and started singing. It seems like to Chris Brown, which is fucking bizarre. I think he was singing a Chris Brown song to Chris Brown in a club. And Chris Brown wasn't really paying him much attention. And he was really belting it in the flipping microphone. This is a legendary Chunkz moment. Legendary UK moment. Legendary for all the wrong reasons in Chunkz, for Chunkz anyway.
Then Chunkz started the show.
Singing into another man's back of the head is crazy. Singing into another man's head from the back is fucking crazy. I'm not even sure if the microphone is even on. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, it's flipping crazy. And he keeps pointing to him as well. Like, it's one thing if you're having your own fun. It's one thing if you're super lit having your own fun. You just love that song. It does something for you. And you want to get on the mic and do, you know, have a little bit of whatever. But he's like trying to get his attention. So what? If Chris Brown turns around, what are you going to do? If Chris Brown turns around and looks at you, what are you going to do? Are you going to carry on singing into his eyes? Rotted. He's trying to get signed, isn't it? He's trying to get out of the hood. He's trying to get out of the hood. He's trying to get signed. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, that's what I remember Chunkz from, but I don't remember much about him in terms of content-wise. Anyway, all that to say, my first reaction to this is, number one, wow, he didn't even say Young Philly's name. I know your boy's got a rape charge against him, but that's your boy. You built from the ground up. You know what I mean? You can at least say the man's name. You don't need to be standing by him and shit. I get it. He's accused of the big rape word or the big rape charge. If I'm not mistaken, there was another charge that came out, right? He got accused of raping Australia while he was on tour. And then I think another woman came out from Magaluf or something. Something happened in Magaluf. So another madness. So yeah, he's got 2 rape charges on his jacket. No one's saying that you should fucking be standing up for him and fighting his battles. You got your own family to look after. You got your own money to make. I get it. But not even saying his name is a fucking mazzoline. Not even saying his fucking name is fucking wild, right? The second thing I was thinking of as well when I was watching this clip, I was like, I wonder, because when Young Philly got cancelled for the rape charge, a lot of brands and sponsors obviously ditched him. But there were a lot of really commercial ones, right? Really big ones. McDonald's, JD Sports, this brand, that brand, this brand. I would assume Chunkz probably had the same type of sponsorships too. So I'm wondering, were those sponsorships tied to them both? Like, I wonder if those sponsorships didn't only drop Young Philly, they also dropped Chunkz because he's associated with Young Philly. So this might be the reason why he's restarting this podcast, because although he's a very successful dude and he's been doing content for years in the UK, killing it, super famous over here, super lit over here, super clouded up, maybe those sponsors have dried up. Maybe they've distanced themselves from him because he's Young Philly's guy, even though he's not the one that's got the rape charge, even though he's completely innocent and not involved and it doesn't involve him whatsoever, none of his business. I wonder if some of these brands didn't only drop Young Philly, they also dropped him, which is why he's restarting this podcast. That might explain it, because in my head I was thinking, hold on, why is he even bothering with this if he's got so many other things that he's got going on? Like, and then the other thing I was thinking, the third thing I was thinking too, I was like, is this really his forte? I know he says he wants to be his passion project, but is Chunkz really a solo content guy? From what I know of him, he's always does stuff with people. Like the Harry Pinero, the Young Philly, they always do stuff in groups. They always do stuff in duos and whatever. That's how these guys work really best. They kind of like bounce off on each other on panels. So I'm wondering, like, is he actually going to do well? Is he actually going to survive? Is he actually going to create good content by himself? Or will it just end up damaging his brand because people will realize, oh shit, he's not that funny when he's on his own, you know? I wonder if that's actually the right strategy. Maybe instead of doing a podcast like this, he should maybe do something more like a stream. That might be a bit more of a better idea, a better solution for what right now. Instead of doing a podcast by himself, a solo one, which I do, which is quite difficult to do sometimes, but on his level must be even harder. It might be better just to do a live stream so that you're at least communicating and, you know, with your fans in real time. You can have fun events. You can bring people on the show spontaneously and shit. You can do IRL stuff with all the stuff he does and all the brand events he goes to and everything else. So maybe that might be the best way to go about things, as opposed to just sitting stationary on a table by himself. Because I think this table thing only works when he's with Young Philly, pre-rape allegations, when he's with Harry Pinero and all these other people. But yeah, man, crazy. He won't even say the guy's name. He didn't even say his name. That's fucking wild. But what can you expect in it? What can you expect if your boy gets charged with rape? Like a lot of people were saying some mad things about Chunkz, as if like he should be coming up, standing up for Young Philly, defending him more. But I don't know, man. I don't think you owe your boy that level of defense in public if they get charged with that sort of a crime, you know? It's one thing if it's some financial white collar thing, blue collar thing. It's another thing if it's maybe a fight that happened with an overzealous fan or spectator and they got charged with common assault or something. But, you know, rape is mad. Rape is up there with kiddie diddling. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't expect anyone to defend you apart from your parents, really. You know what I mean? No one's really going to stand by your side. And from what we've seen so far, judging by the videos of Young Philly going in and out of court to kind of check in and whatever else it may be, the only person that is actually with him is his mum, you know? Which makes sense because those type of charges, they're just too sticky. They're just too toxic. They're just too nuclear for anybody else to stand by your side. Now, if I'm Young Philly, I'm still pissed, though. Not going to lie. If I'm Young Philly, I'm still pissed because he was super popular. He is still popular, I'd imagine, maybe more for the wrong reasons now. He had everybody around him. A bunch of people probably sucking him off, wanting to get near him and shit. then you get charged with what you get charged with, and suddenly everybody forgets your number. I'm sure his follower counts have gone down. I'm sure he's noticed who's kind of unfollowed him. People have probably blocked him on the sly. He's probably not getting his phone calls returned. He's probably getting left on scene. He's probably getting one tick on WhatsApp and all those places and stuff, and maybe it would be like blocked on iMessage. Like he could probably tell that people have definitely, you know, put some arm distance between him. But that must feel a little bit bittersweet, especially if you're the type of guy like Young Philly and you do your dirt around our people. Maybe some people know. Maybe some other guys were involved also in some of your mazza. So now you're thinking, shit, you're dissing yourself for me publicly when you were there when I was doing some of this grease. And now you want to play flipping, you know, you want to play the do-gooder role. You want to pretend like you're all cracking, squeaking clean. Like, you're going to feel a little bit angry. But the only person he should be angry at is himself. The only person he should be angry at is himself, because if he's guilty, he's really fucked up his career in a big way. But again, the writing was on the wall, to be honest. I've watched a bunch of clips of him. I watched that one, the 20v whatever one day in. I watched a bunch of other clips of him doing interviews, man on the street thing during music festivals. And my guy was just too thirsty, man. I think that's the main problem with most men, in it. Your downfall is not going to come because of like, your downfall is most likely going to come because of your thirst. If you don't get your thirst in anger, and I don't even know if it's lust. I wouldn't even say lust is the thing. I think lust is not a negative emotion or a negative thing, or a negative action. I think it's the horniness and the thirst that will fuck you. Horniness and thirst is what's really gonna fuck you, because I'm sure there are some girls that came out and defended Young Philly. Like, yeah, I had a good time with him. He's a good guy. We hooked up a bunch of times. A bunch of girls came out and said some good shit about him. But there was also a bunch of girls that came out and said, my friends didn't even hook up with him, but they didn't like his overall vibe. He was too touchy. He was too forward. He was too aggressive, too this, too that. And it's like, rah, Ted, man. Like, you can't be having ladies coming out saying that about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, girls all over the world, essentially, from where you're touring, essentially saying, you know what? He just did too much. And this is what it led to. It led to him now being accused of what he's accused of. And now, that's a fucking mad thing about these situations. Even though it's not Chunkz that's guilty of what happened, or he wasn't even fucking there, he wasn't even in the fucking country when it happened. Because of Young Philly's actions, his alleged actions, now Chunkz is suffering. Because if my theory is right, and those sponsors like FA, McDonald's, Subway, all these places, Boohoo, fucking, you know, whatever else I'm thinking of, whatever shop, H&M and shit, if all those sponsors that dropped Young Philly actually had a deal that included Chunkz, so when they drop Young Philly, they also drop Chunkz, that just goes to prove how devastating stuff like cancellations can be, or horniness, right? Not having your fucking horniness and thirst in control, because you could end up affecting other people's lives negatively, you know? Chunkz wasn't even there, and now he's having to pick up the scraps of what's happening and trying to get his quote unquote life back together, even though he's not guilty of nothing that occurred. He wasn't even in the fucking country when that shit went down. It's pretty fucking wild, man. So I understand why he's doing what he's doing. So big up Chunkz. Hopefully this show works out for him. Personally, if I was advising him, I'd probably say he should steer more in that direction of doing a live stream. I think he'd really pop with a live stream, especially his personality being bubbly, funny and shit, and also give him a chance to interact more with his fans and stuff, and also be a spontaneous thing where he could bring people in, you know, kind of copy the model that all these other guys are doing, like the young, you know, the Kites and Nats and I Show Speeds and shit. I think that would work. Even maybe IRL streams with all the events he goes to, in award shows, activations, all this malarkey, even studio sessions. I think that would work really well. But I guess it might, you know, maybe that would naturally evolve over time. We'll see how it flipping plays out. But I did double check online to see what gone with Young Philly. And the latest article, obviously, I was able to check was one from March, actually. March, obviously, you got here, Young Philly pleads not guilty to sexual assault charges. This is him pleading not guilty. I think the case is coming up pretty soon, the actual court case for this. Let's quickly read it from BBC. British rapper and internet personality Young Philly has pleaded not guilty, to multiple sexual assaults in Western Australia. The star, whose real name is Andres Felipe Valencia Barrentos, appeared before Perth magistrates Tuesday. Court documents revealed the pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of assault, occasioning bodily harm, 1 of strangulation, and 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent. He will appear before the state's higher district court on the 13th of June. So it's coming up next week. Another court case on 13th. The rapper and YouTuber have been on bail since October 2024 after allegedly sexually assaulting a woman aged in her 20s in his hotel room after she performed at the venue in Hillary's coastal suburb of Perth. Actually, I'm thinking about it. It's the 6th. What day is it now? It's the 7th of June now. And Chunkz has just put out a video about his own solo show today or the other day on the 5th. Maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't. Maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't. Maybe he's been made aware that Young Philly is going down. Hence why he's doing his own show. This is less about the sponsors and more about him putting some real distance between him and Young Philly. Because the court case is happening on the 13th according to this article. I wonder. The rapper and YouTuber has been on bail since October 2024 after allegedly sexually assaulting a woman aged in her 20s. The attack is allegedly to have taken place on Saturday, September 28th of last year. He's best known for his work with YouTube collective Beta Squad, as well as presenting shows with the BBC Three. Barrentos was in Australia touring his music at the time of the offence. He also appeared in the UK, Soccer Aid, ITV, and Great British Bake Off. By the way, how disgustingly horny do you have to be on tour? You're on tour in another country. You're at your littest ever. That's the littest you could be. I don't think there's any more lit you can be than being on tour. Your own headlining tour in another fucking continent, right? Surely if you're on tour in another fucking continent, there's a bunch of people who would probably willingly, with every fucking level of enthusiasm, get down on their knees and suck you off 1,000,000 times over, right? Willing adults, willing participant adults would be willing to do whatever with you because you're at your littest. But you still go to a level of forcing yourself on somebody. That's some real scumbag shit, you know. If he's guilty, that's some real scumbag shit. You're on tour. You probably got a gang of groupies at the shows, in your DMs, trying to meet up, trying to link up, trying to hang out, trying to drink, trying to dance, trying to party. And you're still forcing yourself on people. God damn it, bro. If this guy's guilty, he's fucked. But the other point as well is that even if he's not guilty, he's still fucked because this is going to damage your reputation forever. And those sponsors and brands won't come back. Even if he gets found not guilty, unequivocally, those sponsors and brands won't come back and say, I'm sorry. His brand is still being damaged. And I think, personally, that's a good thing. Because it teaches you a lesson of not being too thirsty. Because even if you didn't do it, you still put yourself in a position where somebody could accuse you of doing said thing. You have to move a bit, you know what I mean? You got to move a bit smarter. You can't be moving like that. Honestly, like look at people like iShow Speed, for instance. iShow Speed has done like a whole world tour. I don't think I've heard one instance of some girl saying he did a madness. You can move. It's very easy to move without doing madness. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. You just got to not be a fucking bad guy. And then of course there's another accusation here. This was a recent one. YouTuber Young Philly accused of raping a British tourist in Magaluf. Now, not too sure what's going to happen with this one because this is another charge on top, I guess. This is courtesy of The Standard. It says YouTube star British rapper Young Philly has been accused of raping a tourist in Magaluf. The 29-year-old internet personality's real name is being investigated by a judge in Majorcan capital of Palma over the alleged attack. So it seems like after the case in Australia, he's got another case pending in Spain. God damn it. It comes after Barrentos pleaded not guilty less than a fortnight ago for 8 charges of rape in September in Hillary's in Perth. As he left Perth magistrates, Barrentos responded to reporters' questions about the situation, says Lovely Day. Now the YouTuber star is facing a fresh allegation after a British tourist accused him of forcing himself on her at an unnamed Magaluf hotel after he performed at an island resort. So it seems to be a common occurrence, isn't it? Whenever he performs somewhere, a madness goes down. Something happens. Whenever he hits the stage, some sort of fucking venom rape thing kind of pops out of him, innit? And he just gets onto attacking people. Fucking crazy. Allegedly, by the way, allegedly. The woman believed to be around 20 reported him to police in the UK, who passed details on to the allegation to the counterparts in Spain. The holidaymaker, who alleges the Barrentos raped her, claims they first met in Magaluf Beach Club, where he was performing, and later crossed paths again at a nearby nightclub. She is accused the star, who's featured in Soccer Aid, of groping her at the club. The woman told police that the alleged sex act took place after they had consensual after she had consensual sex with a friend or Brentus in a hotel room. She claims she accompanied the other man to Brentus's room before ending up alone in a social media star where he raped her. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Holy shit. British authorities contact Spanish Guard, who passed on details and allegations to the investigation court of Palma. So yeah, man, like it's looking kind of peaky for young Philly. So maybe, considering the court case is happening in the 13th, maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't know, hence why he's put some distance between him and young Philly. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it transpires in the next coming days. We'll obviously get a better idea on what's going on. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Big up everybody in the stream chat. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying about this? Big up everybody in the stream chat. Apologies. To be fair, he does look like Diddy. Lock him up. Big up Younger Vibes. If he smells like Diddy, looks like Diddy, then he probably did it. He isn't Chris Brown. Women want to link for clout, not a freak off. That's a good point, to be honest. That's a very good point. There needs to be a distinction between that, by the way. Maybe the fellas need to hear that. Not all women want to link up for a freak off. Some just want to link up for a clout exchange, which is kind of the modern interpretation of like networking, isn't it? Modern, translation of what networking used to be. Like a clout exchange. They want to take a picture, they want to do a couple of snaps, do a IG reel, maybe do a fucking TikTok dance with you, but it doesn't necessarily mean they want to suck you off, Just have that fun. That's quite fun too, to link up with like cute girlfriends or cute girl fans that are your, that are part of your little haram, and then do a bit of content with them, not part of your flipping crew, and then do a bit of content with them. But I think some of these guys I think because they're so used to having, maybe it's not that, maybe, no, I wouldn't say it is their fault, but maybe it's the thing of like, because they have so much male interaction, I'd imagine most of these guys' fan base is probably 99% male. When they do come across women who like them or are into the stuff they do, it can sometimes, throw them for a loop and make them think that the girl fucking wants them like in that way. When really it's just a fan. Just happens to have a JJ, Big up everybody else. Big up Don Dotta. Content creators today are like the rock bands of the 70s, 80s in terms of how they dicey they get. Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's dicey. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to write off everybody and say every content creator is dicey. I think there are some well-behaved single lads out there who are just, having their fun, consensually with grown adults and shit, treating women like with respect, whatever else it may be. I just think there are some who don't do that, who kind of just run and gun. But I don't think the small minority of ones who give the other ones a bad name should account for everybody, That's what I think. But what do I know? Yeah, big up Kesod Moses. He looks ultra horny. Oh, trust me. Trust me, Kesod Moses. Some of the videos that I've seen of this guy doing interviews, especially at festivals and shit, like at Wireless, I think it's at Wireless, so one of them, I think I saw a couple of him doing interviews. Like, God, anytime he's interviewing a girl, anytime he's doing like those like man in the street on the ground type of interviews, and it involves a girl, it immediately goes to sexual innuendos. Like any question immediately goes to something super flirty. It's like, brother, man, like banter, man. Like, can't you banter without getting a boner? Aren't you able to banter without getting your dick out? Like, Jesus Christ. It was so funny to see. He was super, super on it. But again, I think he's of Colombian descent as well, right? So he's got that Latino, Hispanic, blood in him. You know what I mean? Those guys are on fire all the time. It never turns off. This guy could be 80 and he's still ready to rock. You know what I mean? His head is still fucking on a swivel. He's still out here like a fucking meerkat. You know what I mean? Spotting talent walking down the street regardless. So maybe it's just in his blood. You know what I mean? Maybe it's in him. Maybe it's in him. It's not on him. It kind of is what it is.